let's relate it to a scale that we are familiar with. Okay, so the Dorian scale actually is a minor scale with a raised 6. What? Yeah, that's what it is. So if you know how to play a minor scale, you actually already know how to play Dorian, and you don't have to think of the formula I just gave you. That's why I don't know the formulas, because I think of this. Yes, I relate the modes to scales I already know well. So let's take the A minor scale. It's all white keys. And I'm going to play the scale, but when I get to the 6th note, I'm going to raise it 1/2 step. Check it out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, that's my 6th note, but I'm going to raise it 1/2 step. And then I just continue on with the rest of the minor scale. Yeah! Isn't that easier than going whole, half, whole, half, whole? I think it is. But look, whatever works for you. I don't want to discourage it. Whatever works for you. So if you know how to play a minor scale, play it, get to your 6th note, and raise it 1/2 step. That's 1 fret for you guitar nincompoops, okay? And bass nincompoops. So minor scale with a raised 6. That's what Dorian is, right? Let's take another minor scale. Let's take C minor. We talked about this in an earlier video. So C minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So the 6 is an A flat. C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat. That is the 6th note of a C minor scale. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to raise it. Yeah! So now instead of A flat, I'm going to play A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. That's a Dorian scale. The Dorian scale is the same thing as a minor scale with a raised 6. Does that make it easier for you? If it doesn't, go back to the formula. A whole, half, whole, half, whole. Write it out. Do whatever you got to do. But I like this because most people know how to play a major scale and know how to play a minor scale. So we're going to relate all of the modes to those 2 scales. What? Now, what does a Dorian mode... I lost the plot for a moment. What does it sound like? Well, to me, it's got kind of, let me go to C actually, so I can fit in the camera a little better. So C minor always sounds sad to me. And a lot of that is because of that 6. Very sad. Right? But when I raise the 6, whoa, wrong note, Christopher. There we go. I got a little melodic minor there. That's a little bit, so it's saddish dark, but it's got kind of a little happy thing to it. That's how I hear it. Look, you hear the scale. And what does it sound like to you? Write that emotion down. Don't think of musical terms, think of emotional terms. What does it sound like? Well, it sounds kind of dark and funky, but not really sad, kind of on the happy side. Boom. So that's what I wrote down. It sounds sort of dark because you got your minor 3rd, which always gives kind of a dark bluesy sound, but instead of that sad minor 6, we've got a happier one. Cool? Now, what is it used for? We cannot use the Dorian scale over minor keys. Why? Because we just screwed with the minor scale. That's not the minor scale. So that note is going to wreak havoc if we're playing in a minor key. There are times we can use it, yes, but let's not even get into it, right? So when can we use it? Well, we could use it over minor triads, just like the minor scale. We can use it over minor seventh chords, just like the minor scale, because changing that 6 doesn't change that. See, I already like the sound of Dorian better than I do that from the natural minor scale. I like that better. That's why we use it. There's also something called a minor 6 chord, which actually uses the note from Dorian. But I don't want to get too far into that. Just think of it as, hey, this works great over minor chords. Now, what is it best for? Minor chords or minor sevenths. Yeah. Look, if you're just playing a C minor chord, there's no chord change, you're not in the key of C minor, you're just vamping on C minor. And I'm playing the minor 7, but I don't have to. It can just be a minor triad, just a simple chord. And you're just kind of vamping on that and playing that. The best scale to play, as I just showed you, is actually Dorian. And the reason why, if I look at every single note from that scale and I compare it to what it sounds like over this chord, I'm going to have a problem with the minor scale, specifically that note I played earlier. I don't like it. I don't think that's a cool note. Now, can I make it work? Of course I can. It sounds wonderful. All right, but I don't want to have lunch on this because it sounds really dissonant, right? So if I can choose one scale to play over one chord, and we're not going to be jumping around to different chords in the same key, why would I choose a scale that has one weird note? I want to have lunch on every single note. I want every note to be a note I can land on, and it'll sound cool. And the Dorian scale gives that to me when I play minor chords. The 1 sounds great. The 2 sounds wonderful. Ooh. The 3, of course, chord tone. 4 is cool. 5 is cool, chord tone. The 6 now, it gets me into this sort of happier place. It's also kind of its own cool, kind of a, I wouldn't say tense, but kind of dramatic note. The 7, of course, is going to sound great if we play a 7 chord. That's a chord tone. That's why the Dorian scale, in my opinion, is the best scale to play if you're just hanging out, vamping, meaning just staying on one chord. Why play anything that gives you any note you want to be afraid of? Okay?